All right, Nan, take it away.
Good morning, Fair Oaks. Welcome to the April edition of the live village update that we've been bringing to you for the last 4 years now. So every month, Phobec brings you this live update to let you know what's going on in Fair Oaks Village. And today we've got a pretty full agenda. We're going to get updates from Mike Aho, the district administrator for the Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District, about the final phases of the park renovation project. Well, as always, we'll tell you about village specials and updates, what's going on with the chamber this month, events coming up in Fair Oaks Village, and then also how you can become a part of Fair Oaks Village Enhancement Committee and help improve and enhance our beautiful little community. So
we are today, Fair Oaks Boulevard. I'm going to turn my camera around and you can see what's going on. We are actually paving Fair Oaks Boulevard. We're really only doing one block of pavement, so it's not a big section. It's from California Avenue to Park Avenue. I'm standing on the corner of California Avenue and Fair Oaks Boulevard, and just down there where the other tractors are, that's Park Avenue. So a relatively short section of roadway. We should be done today at some point in time with this part of it, everything but the striping or the lane striping. The lane striping will be done tomorrow if everything goes well, and it doesn't really impact traffic or anything. But for today, traffic will be impacted. We do have one lane of traffic open alongside the Murphy Scott building there with flaggers on either end, so you're able to pass through the village still. I would recommend, if you're going to come into the village, to find parking early or after you pass the park itself, and you will not be able to park on Fair Oaks Boulevard within this one block. There'll be parking down below and up above, of course. But I wanted to talk a little bit too about why this one's going so fast. This is unusual for Fair Oaks to go this quick in paving. What you'll see here is a very uniformed scraping, and then here along the white curb line and the road, you'll see a bunch of gravel in the gutter. And we actually had put this gutter down earlier. It's basically a road base that we had put down here so we could put the transition in to our parking area that we redeveloped right here. So we put the appropriate road base down for this little transition cut here, but underneath where I'm standing on the hard surface, that road base continues on. So it is a solid road base. I think it's about anywhere between 6 and 8 inches of road base material, and then you put the asphalt layers on. So this project is requiring a 2-inch grind and overlay, and you can see the little lip right here between the cut pavement and the bricks. That's about 2 inches. So we're able to scrape off 2 inches or grind off 2 inches of asphalt, and then we'll be repaving over the top of that. On the rest of the roads in Fair Oaks, parts of them we'll be able to do, and other parts we won't be able to do like that. I'll be able to show you some of that in a bit. I'm going to turn my camera around and start heading over to the other side of the park so you can see what's going on. The roads around the park, except for Fair Oaks Boulevard, which is what we're paving today, are very challenging, and they were never built to any standards. Now, what'll happen, let's close the gate up here. What'll happen once we get done is the roads will be to standard. And so 25 years from now, when the roads have to be repaved again, it will be a grind and overlay. It will not be a complete road rebuild. So we're trying to do things for longevity purposes and for the long-term health of the village, not just a short-term patch over that when some point in time you'll have to redo. It's kind of like, I guess, if you have a hardwood floor and you have a stain on that hardwood floor, sometimes it's easier to throw the throw rug over the top of it than fix the stain. We're trying to fix all the stains. So instead of just throwing a carpet over it. And that's everything from irrigation to power to sewer to water. Everything in this park was done not to any kind of standards. And so it caused grief throughout the process and a lot of money. But again, the investment over time is money well spent, I believe. And so for the next 2 generations, and I've said this before, but for the next 2 generations, you'll have a park that is basically a lot easier to maintain, a lot easier to make changes, and a lot easier, a lot more, I guess, up to standards instead of built with a shovel and a throw rug. So I want to show you some of the challenges we're going to have with the road. I'm over here on Park Avenue. I'm going to turn my camera around. And we'll be paving this later. And I've shown this before, but here's the road edge and the road base here on this section. It might be an inch of pavement, maybe an inch and a half. Definitely no road base. And so as we go through this section right here where I'm standing, we have to tear this all up and rebuild the road base. That's going to take time. So when we finally get over to this side of the park and start working on Park, California, Temescal, and Maine, we will be dealing with this issue. And it's going to take a lot longer. It won't take 2 days or 1 day like Fair Oaks Boulevard. So it's going to take some more time. So I'm asking people to be patient with that and understand how this is all going to play out here in the next number of days. We are scheduled right now to have a paving crew come back on June 23rd. We expect to have the paving done. It takes about 3 more weeks for that to finish. So all the rest of the paving, anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks of time once we start on the other sections. And you may ask why we're not continuing on right now, because the paving crew that we have and that is under contract for this project did have another job and they finished it early. And so they're able to come over here for a short window of time, 2 days, a day and a half, to do the road here on Fair Oaks Boulevard. So we got them in here. It'll be done, and then we won't pave again until sometime in June. So that's kind of the timeline, and that's why it's happening. There's some complications in terms of, hey, why don't you get another paver crew in here? There are some California laws that we have to follow in regards to the bid laws. This subcontractor came in on our bidding, and so we are required to use them. We can't shop out our bids and after the bids are awarded, and nor would you want that to happen. Even if we could find a subcontractor to do it right now, more than likely it would not be one that we want to see in here, because any paving contractor right now that's worth anything is probably busy, and they better be busy because this is the paving time. So even if we were allowed and not restricted by government code, we would probably not benefit from shopping this project out and getting a different contractor. Anyway, I'm stepping over here to the playground, and we are done with that. We just have to do our inspection on it. We have a safety inspection we're required to do for liability purposes, and I know we'll pass because we've done it all right, but gonna turn that around. I'm at the top of the playground here, and what you're seeing with these yellow dots is our hill, and this hill is on a sponge. This is very spongy stuff here. It's the stuff you see on playgrounds. It's all spongy. So you're able to climb up and down this and kind of tumble down, have some fun. This is our concrete slide, which I've shown before. It's on the top of the hill, and then some more little climbing dots, if you will, going up. So it's kind of a fun playground surface because it's not just flat. It's got a variety of terrain on it. I'm kind of going down the slope here. And then you've got these rope connectors, this giant rope thing, which is pretty fun. The staff did go down this just to see. Of course, we wanted to try and make sure it was all safe. So we went down and through this thing, climbed up through the tower here, went across the rope bridge, and went over the rope bridge up there, over to the tower, climbed through the spider web there, and got up to the top of the slide up there. What is that? Maybe 20 feet or so up, and then slid down the tube. Good times. It's definitely not made for adults, but it's made for kids, and it's a lot of fun to play on, at least from our perspective. So we're looking forward to getting this thing open for the public and for them to really enjoy a unique playground, kind of a one-of-a-kind in this area. We also have some other ancillary pieces of equipment in here. we have this spinner here, and some of the guys got on this the other day, and once they got on it, it really took off because of their weight, and it was kind of fun watching them trying to hold on. They were begging us to stop them. and then the swing set here that we have now, we're gonna be replacing one of these swings. Let's get out of the sun here. One of these swings here with a bucket swing for folks with disability, children with disabilities, so they can utilize the swing. So we'll have a bucket swing in here. It is an accessible area, the playground, so someone with a chair can go through here. They can get up to the top there where the concrete slide is, using the ADA ramps, and then come down the slide if they're capable of doing that, or able to do that. And if not, you definitely have some interesting opportunities here to play and to have creative play. So anyway, with that being said, I also want to show the shade structure that's over the playground, and it's a big shade structure that we have. So there it is right there over the swing set, and it shades a substantial amount of the playground in different places depending on the angle of the sun. But anyway, that's what I have, and I will turn it back over to you guys.
Hey, Mike, did you want to talk about the expected opening date?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. We are expected to open in August right now, and that is because of the paving delay. As I've mentioned, we're not going to finish that until June, or start that until June, and then we still have to get occupancy after that. We cannot get occupancy until we have access to the site. By paving the road, that gives us full access to the site, and we can get an inspection for occupancy. So we are now delayed until August, I'm afraid. I'm not happy with that. But if nothing else, I've learned to deal with delays on this project. And then also, Keith, we had talked briefly about concerts in the park. I want to turn the camera around. There's the stage right there, and we're all graded down here and ready for turf to go in down here. And the concerts in the park, we were planning on starting those up in June if we were opening in June, but obviously, as I mentioned, we're not going to open until early August. And so we're going to have a few concerts over at Fair Oaks Park, and then we're bringing them back here through the end of August. So we extended it a little bit of time, and we've added a couple of days in there for additional concerts. For an example, during the grand opening, we'll have a concert, and we'll also be having a concert during the Fair Oaks Historic Society and Fair Oaks' anniversary. I believe it's the Historic Society's 50th and the village's 130th anniversary. I think those numbers are right. It's something like that. But we'll be having a big gala here in the park that the Historic Society is putting on, Chambers participating in, and we're providing some music for. We're also doing the facility in the clubhouse for that event. September 27th is that date. It'll be our first big event in the park, outside of concerts in the park, but the first big event utilizing multiple facilities. So we're hoping that a lot of Fair Oaks residents show up for it and really enjoy what we have and what we've opened up. So anyway, yep, I'm sorry to say that, but it looks like September is it looks like August, excuse me. August is our opening dates.
Okay, thanks so much, Mike. The playground is really bright. That was kind of, I wasn't really expecting that. So it's really very colorful and really looks really great. And thanks for updating us. It's wonderful to see construction going on with the paving of the streets, something that we'll be able to see a result of today. Woohoo! That's great. So I wanted to share with you what the specials and updates are here in the village. There's a lot going on. The first of which is this Sunday is the 44th annual Chicken Run. Now, originally I was going to interview the manager here at Wild Runners because that's where it's being put on, but she got stuck in traffic. So I'm at Wild Runners right now, and it's on the corner of Fair Oaks Boulevard and California Avenue. And at 8 o'clock on Sunday, the Chicken Run 44th annual will take off from here, and there are 5 different levels. There's a 5K for the serious runners, a 2K, and then also a kids run walk. So come on down. It's been going on forever. It's really a fun event, and check out Wild Runners for that. Then also I want to let you know that Bad Fish Coffee has new hours for spring and summer. They are now open until 6 p.m. every day except for Sunday, where they will continue to close at 2. They also have new menu items because they have a new chef. And you'll have to come in. They will change weekly. You'll have to come in and find out what those are. Also at Skin Deep Salon, we have Holly McWilliams, a longtime Fair Oaks resident, doing massages, and she's got specials on those. And then Palm Tree Brewing, which is at the corner of Fair Oaks and California in the old Feingold's building where the clock is in front of. They are expecting, everything has been finalized. They're expecting to get their permits in May and actually begin construction on their brewing facility. They are expecting to be open by Oktoberfest and will be brewing. If everything goes on schedule, they will actually be the featured beer at the Fair Oaks Village Oktoberfest this year. Wouldn't that be great to have beer actually locally brewed in the village highlighted at our event? That would be so fun. Also, Brainy Zoo, which is inside Gabri Real Estate, they have expanded. They now have a puzzle and game section for kids. And in the same building, they have opened the Garden Glow gift shop, and they are having a spring sale, 40% off selected items and 10% off everything in the store. And that goes through Mother's Day. So that's what's happening in the village as far as specials and updates. We're really excited about Palm Tree Brewing. And if Mike is ready, we'll go back to you. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Are you set for me?
Wait, one thing I forgot. Go back, Keith, real quick, is at Jerry's Garden Spa, which Jerry's Garden Spa is one of the oldest salons in the village. I think she's been here since around the 80s. Anyway, she now has a Medi Spa provider, so you can actually get Botox in the village. She's there selected days a week. Her name is Sandy, and her phone number is on the slides, and we will be posting that to our social media if you didn't get it here. All right, now back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Nan. Hey, I'm outside the back door of the amphitheater, if you will. This is probably an exit and some service entrance for the amphitheater when the amphitheater gets going. We have 2 entrances, and those are up front by the ticket booth. And so when you come into the amphitheater, you'll go that route. You'll get a ticket. You'll come in one of those 2 entrances. But when you exit, you can go out one of those 2 or out this third one. And so we've just poured the concrete the other day for it. Got the posts in. I'll show you those. And so there's the post for the fence, and then the new concrete. Now this is as I mentioned, the amphitheater, the back entrance to it. And we'll be connecting these fence lines. So that fence line that's in existence there will connect to that pole right there. And then this pole will connect around here to poles that'll be in this concrete planter, if you will, that'll go around. So that tree right in front of me will actually be in the park, but overhanging into the amphitheater. So it adds a little more park ambiance to that Park Avenue side. I've said this before, that we wanted Park Avenue to be part of the park and not be an alley. So it really does feel like part of the park, and keeping a tree there was kind of important to make it feel like a park. So anyway, this is kind of just new stuff back here as we go through the back way into the amphitheater area. The concession rooms, they're still here. We're just doing some electrical work in there. And this is the seating area. I've showed this before for the amphitheater seating. Those chairs are coming in here sometime in May, mid-May. It takes about 3 days to install them all. They're coming in, the chairs and the installation crew are coming in to do all that. All the electrical grids in here, all the mounting hardwares, or all the mounting to the concrete stuff is here. And so it's just a matter of bolting the chairs into this. The chairs are being manufactured and will be arriving, like I said, within a couple of weeks or so. And there's the amphitheater doors closed. So the stage is right behind those brown panels. And if you watched any of our board meetings, you may have heard the board discussing these panels. These are custom panels that cover up a metal grid. Those are airplane hangar doors, basically. And so those panels then secure the stage and the back area of the amphitheater as well as in between the panels on this side and the other side, there's insulation in the grid. So that allows the building to be climate controlled, whether it be summer or winter. So it will hopefully be comfortable. It's kind of a wonderful thing to see those panels up on this side. And again, you don't get to see that work happening, or even like the work back here on the concession stands. But there is quite a bit going on. I'm going to go inside the amphitheater because we do have some fun things that have happened recently, and or inside the black box or the community rooms. We'll start with the community rooms. I'm going to head down here, down to the end. This is the load in, load out door at the end of the community center, or the black box. These are the community rooms here as the lights pop on. We've got these new sound panels here up on the wall. You may or may not have been able to tell the difference when I walked in. The sound definitely changed, and it became much more usable as a room with those sound panels on, and it absorbs the sound. And really, one of the things, again, we spent some time and money on was to get this thing right so people can use this, and it's not some echoey grade school classroom, but it has that ability to really showcase the village and what we can actually do here. And you'll see we have a little phone line here on the wall, and we'll actually take that phone handset off most of the time. But when there is a show going on, they'll be able to talk to the ticket office, the production booth, a variety of different things through that. They'll also be able to hear the shows. You can see we have a little volume control here that goes on and off, and allows them to hear the show through the speakers, which are mounted up here on the ceiling, just over by those lights. So it's got a lot of possibilities back here. And then when it's not being used for shows, for green rooms for the actors and actresses, and basically a lounge area for the shows, it'll be available for public use and for Parks and Rec use. So classes, activities, meetings, things like that. So kind of real flexible rooms, if you will. I don't know if I've shown the ceiling colors and the blend between the lights and the ceiling. Kind of an interesting mix of stuff. I've showed the door panel control accesses before. We're going to be a keyless facility, so you'll get a card basically when you utilize this facility, or if you do utilize this facility and need to have a controlled access, you'll have that. This is the area in the black box theater right here, this kind of open area. This little area here is where we plan on putting concessions for the black box when the black box is going. It'll be a portable concession type of bar because more often than not, the stage doors will be open and we won't be running anything out of the lobby area, except, and that brings up a great thing, that we have the ability to support events that happen out here inside the park on the plaza area. So if there's an event going on out here, let's just say there's a market out there, and we want to do a maker's market in this area, you could come in here and do that. So we could have a climate controlled area, again, that allows you to come in and spend a little time and not be baked by the sun and do some other activities related to maybe something going on out there. And it doesn't impact that area, but yet it's really accessible for that. So we're going to try that at Concerts in the Park this year. We'll have a market out in front on the plaza out here. And then inside the black box, we'll have a maker's section where you can come in and make some stuff. And then you'll be able to walk over to the concert through the park, and vice versa. You're at the concert, maybe you're done listening and you want to come into the maker's market and go to the market in the plaza. You'll be able to do that. We think that cross pollination, if you will, of two activities, one in the front, which is very visible, the market, for people just walking by, that they'll come into the market, and then that they'll walk over to the concert, and just vice versa. The concert folks will say, hey, there's something really great going on over here. So we've got some flexibilities. We're going to try it out and see how it goes. What we do know as we enter into programming, we'll make some challenging mistakes, if you will, and we'll also do some things right, and we'll also realize that we could do things better. And so we'll make those adjustments as we continue to go. Maybe the maker's market inside during the market, inside the black box is a bad idea. Maybe it's a great idea, but we'll find out. And so we get that luxury of going through. I feel like the actual programming itself will solidify itself and really start being successful on its own, and then having minor modifications after about 2 years. So it takes that long to kind of get a feel for how how facilities respond, how communities respond, and how staff is capable of doing, and just how the community can support things. We can't do everything. We can't be a band. We can't be a maker's market. We can't do all of those things. We need partners to do those. And those partners have to be good partners for us to be successful. So that's what's going to happen with this facility. As I mentioned, this is the backside. There's those panels of the door. And we'll have insulation in where the white is. And then there'll be darker colored panels than the ones in front on the outside, the finishing panels. And I think, yeah, this is all locked up right now. I was going to say I could push the doors open, but it's all locked up. So they must have been locking it up for some reason. But we have painted it back here. It's dark, which is hence the name Black Box. And so you want to have that. We'll be laying the floor down here shortly. We're clearing it out, getting ready to lay the floor once they finish all the painting and some of the other hard work in here, so we don't destroy the floor. This floor will be a multi-purpose type of floor. It'll be designed for stages, so you'll be able to mount things to it and then repair those areas. So it's standard for theaters. I don't have the technology knowledge to tell you exactly what it's called, but everything they tell me, it sounds pretty darn cool. So, and then backstage, which I've shown before, we moved a lot of stuff back here so we could finish up in the front part of the stage here. So it's a big facility, lots of interesting things. I'm going to step out the side door here, I think, and if I can. It looks like I can get out, yeah. And that's not an exit for the theater. That is an exit for emergencies and for working and stuff like that. So we're the ticket booth, working on that today. And then the entrance to the amphitheater, I mentioned 2 entrances, this one, and then this one right here. So with the ticket booth there in the middle. I've talked a little bit about this plaza here, which is just across from the brew pub. And we're putting the mountings in for, the footings in for the wall. We'll be putting a wall there where that grid pattern is, that metal grid pattern. It's a retaining wall to keep everything from fluffing away. As I said, we're trying to do things right. So it is built right. It's built to withstand time and use, and not just something to be haphazardly thrown together. So it has to be inspected as well throughout the time frame. We put light poles in. You see the posts there. So those have to be able to withstand and be engineered to a certain level. It's not as simple as just sticking an old light pole from Home Depot in. And then this area will have tables and seating and stuff. It'll be right next to the theater. And so how we see this is this, for an example, if we have a subscriber program for the amphitheater and maybe the Black Box, then the subscribers, the people who paid that extra, be a patron or a supporter, they maybe have a little wine tasting in here before a show. And so we can kind of close that off, and they can come here just before they go on the show, have a little wine tasting or something. And that kind of area, when we're not using it for something like that, it would be open for just general public use. If you wanted to sit in here and have a lunch or visit with friends or whatever, you'd be able to do that. It will have market lights and just a nice kind of common area, if you will. So anyway, that's what I've got today, Nan and Keith.
Awesome, Mike. Wow, it's going to be really fantastic when it's all done. Cannot wait for that.
Me too.
So thank you so much again for that. So let's get back. Let's see, what does the Chamber having going on this week? So our month, the Chamber has their Taste of Fair Oaks. That is the biggest event they have in the year, and it is happening on May 16th. And so you can get tickets at the Chamber website. And also every Tuesday is the Farmers Market out at Fair Oaks Park. That's near the corner of Madison and Fair Oaks Boulevard. They have fresh fruit vendors and vegetable vendors and actually baked goods and coffee and all kinds of stuff. Occasionally there is music there too, so go check that out as well. Then let's talk about FOVEC news. So FOVEC, our biggest fundraiser of the year, is coming up in June. June 14th is our annual Village Benefit Barbecue. It's our 7th annual this year, and we're always looking for sponsorship and raffle prizes. It's a way you can give back to the community. So Sue Northard, or you can go to our website if you have something you'd like to donate or you'd like to be a sponsor. We'd really appreciate that. And also, I wanted to remind everyone that the Fauveck Village parking lot is now open. It is a secured parking lot with a gate just on Crestline, so 1 block off of Fair Oaks Boulevard. And it's $1 a day or $15 a month, whichever is less. And that gives you secured parking and opens up the parking on the street for customers of yours and the village. Just to note that while I'm standing here, while Mike's been giving us the update, I'm standing at on Fair Oaks Boulevard, right between O Cafe and Bella Fiore. And just while I've been standing here in the last few minutes, I have seen 5 employees park right in front of their buildings and walk into their building, taking up 5 spaces that could be used for customers. And I hate to get on a soapbox about that, but I'm super passionate about that. I grew up in retail. You always leave the spots in front of your business open for people who are coming to give you business. So I'm a little bit flabbergasted by that, 5 of them. And in addition, I've noticed that along the spots that are along Fair Oaks Boulevard in front of the businesses, they've now painted them the color of their storefront signage. Some of them actually have the names of the business on it. And, you know, parking is a premium. If the employees would park in the parking lot, we wouldn't have this issue. But as a result, people who are coming to eat at the O Cafe before Bella Fiore's open or Bungalow or any of those others are not parking on the streets. They're trying to find a spot somewhere else. And it's just very unwelcoming and not anything that I think our village is. Sorry to get on my soapbox, but there again, we have 57 spaces just off, not even a block away, that people can park at. So if you frequent the village or are a business owner, please look into that parking. If you frequent the village and you want to share that parking is an issue with the people you come to see in the village and that encourage them to have their employees use that parking lot, that would be awesome too. It would just benefit the village so much. One other thing, the big day of service is coming up. That is on May 17th in the morning. It actually starts at 8 a.m. at a church in Orangevale, and the project work is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There are no fewer than 3 projects in the village. Fauveck's parking lot that we were just talking about, a beautification of that is one of the projects. There is also, and that's the one that we're going to talk about now. There's also one at the no barking lot, and then the Fair Oaks Triangle. And as I mentioned briefly before, the Fair Oaks Village 7th annual benefit barbecue is coming up. So save the date. It's Saturday, June 14th, and it will be with all the trimmings and all the fun stuff you've come to expect. We've got some great prizes this year. We do have a week in Calaveras County at a cabin that sleeps 12. Excuse me. And also a bicycle from Bob's Cycle Center, which we'll talk more about Bob's in just a moment. Then to continue on, there are lots of events coming up in May. On May 3rd, we've got 3 different events going on. The Violet Wellness Spa and is offering an Old Soul Flower Bar and Mother's Day pop-up. That's from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And that is at 4125 Temescal Street. Lots of prizes. They're giving away massages and facials and all kinds of wellness stuff. Then Lyra Boutique is going to celebrate their 2nd anniversary. I can't believe it's already been 2 years. That is happening all day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. They will have some vendors. They'll have specials on their clothing and accessories, snacks, champagne, and other drinks as well. So come and take advantage of that. And finally, on May 3rd, at the Tudors, there's going to be a Spring Abundance Food Forest fundraiser. That's sponsored by the permaculture people, and that's from 6 to 9 p.m. They'll have music, food vendors, raffle prizes, and conversation. And I understand they'll be doing a Q&A about what exactly permaculture is and how you can incorporate it into your landscape. Then on May 4th, Wild Runners, we talked about the 44th annual chicken run that is coming up. And I neglected to put in here also that May 4th is our monthly car show here in the village, sponsored by Fovec. Come out and check out all the old cars that'll be lining the streets. Then on May 6th at Hilburn Stylist Studio, there's an Alan Edmonds event. He is coming, Alan Edmonds himself is coming from New York, and that's from 4 to 7. Alan Edmonds does shoe fashions for men, and there's some really cool ones, so go check that out. And of course, they'll have snacks and beverages as well. And then the 6th and 7th at Shangri-La is their Mother's Day night market. It's 2 days this year from 5 to 9 p.m. There'll be over 40 vendors, and you know how much fun and the great products you can get there. Perfectly timed to get something for your mom for Mother's Day or your other special woman in your life, mother in your life. They will also be accepting donations for Mothers Escaping Violence charity to help those women who are in violent situations to get out of that. Then on May 11th, which is Mother's Day, Honeymoon Tattoo will be giving a $300 gift card winner announced there. So you can enter the contest to be a winner for that by going on Instagram and either signing up at Weekender Magazine or Honeymoon Tattoo 1 on Instagram. That's where they're doing the entries. So if you need a tattoo, that might be a fun thing to do. And then on May 17th, like we've already talked about, is the big day of service. And there, as we mentioned, are 3 different projects going on in the village. So make sure you go to the bigdayofservice.org. You could just Google it and sign up. Project number 10 is the parking lot here in Fair Oaks Village. We're looking for about 10 to 15 volunteers to help clean up the landscape and beautify the space so that we can offer a beautiful space for people to park, as well as being secure. And finally, on May 17th is the Garden Gala of the Arts, for the Arts. That is at the Fair Oaks Horticulture Center, and I believe this is the second one they've done. Mike, am I right there, or is it's second or third? But it's a wonderful celebration of a garden, and it's a beautiful gala. It's a very lovely event, and it helps raise money for bringing art here to Fair Oaks. So you can go to the Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District website to sign up for that. Tickets are available, but they're going fast. And then upcoming in June, we don't have the date right now, but as we mentioned, we're getting a bicycle for the barbecue from Bob Cycle Center. They are celebrating their 70th anniversary, 70 years. So that is going to be a really, really fun event. You can go to the Fair Oaks Village website to find out more. Growing up in Fair Oaks, if you grew up here, you knew that all our bikes came from Bob's Cycle Center, and they've been a staple in our community for a very, very long time. In addition to the special events coming up in May, we also have weekly recurring events, and those Tuesdays from 7 to 9, there are classes at Blossoming Path for $10. Most Wednesdays at 8:30, there's a dog walk in the village. The ladies meet at the corner of California and Fair Oaks Boulevard. Bring your dog. And Thursdays at 7 is a run from Wild Runners that goes along the park. And then also Thursdays at 6:30 are trivia nights at Brahma Bar and Grill. And most Thursdays, there's an alternative spiritual class at Blossoming Path. Saturdays at 7 a.m., there is another run that comes out of Wild Runners. And Sundays, there's a bike ride from the Biker Bar. You can contact the store for more details. And also the second Tuesday of the month is the open mic night at the Fair Oaks Coffee House in Delhi. So what can you do? Get involved with Fovec. You can see we're really promoting the village. We've done so much to help bring parking and the street signs and all other things to the village, and you can be a part of that. Membership is just $50 a year, or you can sponsor. We have 4 levels of sponsorship. You can volunteer. We have all types of things that we need volunteers for: events, newsletters, committees, outreach, fundraising, events, parking, signage, volunteers, and membership. And you can also be involved by just donating something to one of our events as well. And then we'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Rich Desmond's office with Sacramento County Supervisor is a double platinum sponsor. He helped fund the improvements that we made to make the parking lot one block off of Fair Oaks Boulevard secure and safe by helping us pay for fencing and installing a gate and the gate operation, which when you sign up for parking, you get your own dedicated code that only you have. Also, gold sponsors, Fair Oaks Co-working, also known as the Tutors, Nan Danford Properties, and Dream Vacations. And our silver sponsors is EJ's Little People. And then bronze sponsors, we want to recognize them as well. Super Quick Market, Gary up there always has great wine to donate to our events. Regina Johnson, a respected FOBEC member and a longtime Fair Oaks resident. Sherry Lovis with Windermere Realty, and the Friends of Sailor Bar, Jody Sato. So that's our program for today. We hope you enjoyed finding out what's going on in Fair Oaks Village. Our board meeting is next Wednesday, 4 o'clock at the old library on Temescal Street. It is open to everyone. So please come and join us then. And if not, we will see you next month, the last Wednesday of the month, which is May 28th, right here in Fair Oaks Village. Thanks so much, and we will see you next time.